Hello, Steve White, Trickboy89 for Steve Arts 89. I'm going to do a really short little spoiler review for the latest episode of Star Trek Discovery Season 4, Choose to Live, Episode 3. Basically, Romulan space ninja nuns show up on a Starfleet ship that is transporting dilithium because they're giving out dilithium to everyone now, whoever wants it. And this lady who has a sword basically kills a first officer for no real reason, except he's trying to stop her from stealing the dilithium. And there's so many ways this could have been avoided on many levels. Beam it out, beam him out, beam him into another part of the ship, knock him out, shoot him, phaser him, stun him. So many things they could have done other than stab him with a knife and kill him. So Starfleet wants to go after this terrorist, basically. But the, what are they actually called? The Koat Malat, the space ninja nun people show up and basically say, yeah, no, you better let us handle it our way because we say so. And yeah, okay. So they send Michael with Mother Burnham, and because they've still got their issues. And they go to a moon and they discover that this lady is trying to save a race of beings called the Ibronian, who have basically, their sun went supernova. They put their, whoever was left, I guess, on a moon that was a ship, transporting it to another planet where they could repopulate that planet. Unfortunately, the cryo didn't work. They didn't wake up, and they're out of dilithium. They couldn't move or defend themselves. They were being grave robbed by people because apparently they have latinum in their body. So she was protecting them. But the ridiculousness of she couldn't just ask her government for dilithium on their behalf, the idea that she couldn't tell anyone about them, it just doesn't work. It's like a child who doesn't want to get in trouble, so they lie. It just doesn't work. But politics, prevail, and she's given back to the Vulcan government in favour of, good policies between them and them joining back again and everything. Now that's that story pretty much resolved. Now we have the story with Tilly. Tilly is feeling out of place. She's trying to get out of her comfort zone, and Saru suggests her go on the mission. She's kind of comic relief, which plays much differently now that she's gained weight. It feels like she's been put into the stereotypical fat friend category. It doesn't play the same as her comedy used to before, where it was more like she was on the spectrum and that was it. So I feel they need to keep away from that stereotype. I don't think it really works. Not that her performance wasn't good. She was funny. I like Mary Wiseman. I've defended her about the fat shaming. It's ridiculous, and no excuse for it. But so she eventually talks to Saru, and she does seem to be working on her life, because as the space ninja nun explained to her, their whole choose to live thing is, well, you're on a path. When you encounter us, your path was ended. You need to choose another path, choose to live and do something else. So she sort of realised my path is just changing. I just need to adapt, and so she gets some resolution there. Now, Book asks Stamets, who's trying to work out what the anomaly is, for help. He's like, too much science, please go away. And then he's like, actually, no, I need a real detailed account of what happened to the planet. Can you do that? He said, okay. Goes down to the 25% different prime Vulcan Navarre, and they have a little summit between the scientists, and they decide what he basically realised, that there's no tachyons, so it can't be a primordial wormhole, which is what he is thinking it was, because everything else says that's what it is. They have a little nap on it. They come back. They come to that conclusion. And Book does a mind meld with the Vulcan ambassador, who wants to check if there was any signs of tachyons invisible in the atmosphere, because it would have had a blue glow or something. And he manages to pull up a memory or relive a memory and see that his nephew did look back at him when he was leaving, and he could see that he knew that he loved him so, because he had this issue of, did I let them know that I loved them, because I abandoned them and I came back, and he was having all this regret and insecurity about, did I really show them how I cared, and so forth. And it's a bit tiresome at the beginning, because he seems to be, there's no reason for him to feel guilty, he just seems to be looking for that. But then his resolution plays really well, so I did enjoy that part, and he's a good actor. What was the other part of the story? I think that's everything. Oh, Gray. Gray gets a new body. and they transfer whatever they are. I don't know what they are. I have not been able to work out, are they a presence, a ghost, a spirit, a memory? It seems all over the place, and no one's been able to explain it to me in any way that makes sense. It seems to just be science fantasy wish fulfillment, which they could have just had them beam on board as a couple. I don't know why they had to have this whole journey of non-science that doesn't make any sense to me. So they create the body and they remove him from Adira, the connection, and they don't immediately go into, and I'm forgetting the pronouns, I'm not even trying to remember, it's easier to say they don't go into the body right away, so she's stressing out, she's freaking out. Culber's trying to help them, and eventually their brain activity just starts, and they're back, and they're like, oh my god, thank you for helping me, so forth, so on, and now they're together. And the issue with those two is Ian is a much better actor than Blue, and whenever they're in a scene together, it really shows her lack of acting ability, and I find them hard to watch together because it just highlights the difference. And that's the end of the episode. Well, actually, the end of the episode is Michael and Book lying on his bed looking up at a hologram of his planet, which he's finally comfortable to look at, because before that it was too painful to look back at it. Now he's got some resolution and he's got his amulet back on, and he's feeling better. So that's where the episode ends. It was a good episode. There are some issues. There's still some overall issues with the show, the general cynicism, the darkness, the way that they portray the future Star Trek universe and so forth, the visual differences with the prime elements and that. But the actual episode was okay. The last 3 episodes have been okay. It's they're doing standalone stories within an overall overarching sort of story, and that works better than the long form story where it's just like a chapter in a novel where you just get a little piece and nothing really goes anywhere, and you don't really get any sense of beginning, middle and end story or anything. So they're playing it much better. They seem to have amended some of their issues, and I don't hate the show as much as I did before. It's kind of bearable now. I can sort of watch it and I can still criticize it, analyze it, but I don't feel like I'm being slapped in the face as a Star Trek fan anymore. And I'm hoping it does get better, but it's still not there. It's still not Star Trek, but it's not the slap in the face it used to be. So I will continue watching and see where it goes in this season and the next, and hopefully it keeps progressing till it gets to a point where it actually resembles Star Trek. But I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe, let me know what you think. I wish I'd managed to do a short review, but here we are. I talk too much. Thanks, bye.